Well, hello everybody. Happy 4th of July and happy 250th birthday, America. And as promised, I'm going to do a video today, very bicentennial for our 250th, about the city of Jacksonville F-106. This airplane was probably one of the more famous bicentennial painted aircraft from 1976. For those who are unfamiliar, that was America's bicentennial 200th birthday. And the military, being very patriotic, was painting a lot of aircraft in all kinds of wild bicentennial colors. And the 125th Fighter Interceptor Squadron of the Florida Air National Guard, the FANG, was not going to be left out of the festivities. So they painted up this beautiful, if perhaps not a touch gaudy, F-106 Delta Dart in this wild paint scheme. And I think they particularly got this specific airframe because the number on it had a 76 in it. So they worked the big 76 into the actual tail number. And the airplane, although it became quite the star in its own right and was going to air shows and stuff, very well known and obviously pretty easy to pick out. It's the only one they painted this way. And it, despite being kind of the belle of the ball, it was still a working airplane. It was a fighter and it was an interceptor and it stood alert, and it was even photographed from a Russian Tu-95 Bear on an intercept, which is this picture is actually a Russian photograph, thus the black and white. But I noticed that the tail flash isn't complete, so I don't know if this photo was taken before they had completed the paint job or when they're in the process of taking it off. But it wore the paint job for a little over a year, and then, of course, once the celebrations were over, and it was 1977, they had to go ahead and put it back in its air defense gray. So it was repainted and went back to its au naturel color, and where you couldn't tell from any of the other F-106s except by the number. And anyway, it had its moment in the sun. It was all pretty cool. Well, the airplane was popular enough that model builders like making models of it. So there were a couple of ways to do that. One of them was to get the Hasegawa kit. And it is a City of Jacksonville kit. It comes with 5 runner trees. If you count each of the sets, the top and bottom of the wings of the runner tree, then the left side of the runner tree, the right side runner tree, and then the one with all the drop tanks and everything on it. Hint of flash on the one I was given, not much, 5 seconds of sanding, and a rather low detail one-piece canopy, but at 1/72 scale, you really can't put any detail in there and make it scale out correctly. So that was how, a lot of people did it. However, there were 2 other ways to do it. I didn't even realize till I started this project that there are 1/48 scale decals available from Caracal. However, big thing here you have to be careful of. They do give you all the airplane markings, the City of Jacksonville, the star, the USAF, that red bar with the stars in it goes around the pitot, and the red quasi-rhomboids that bracket it, I believe, go inside the intake. But as it clearly points out in the instruction sheet, you have to paint the airplane white. Then you have to mask off and paint the blue and the red on the tail and on the underbelly, all on your own. And by the way, as a side note, none of these decal sets have the stripes for the bottom. That all has to be masked and painted, or you have to make your own decals. So once you get the airplane in color, then you can put the white stars over the blue parts and the drop tanks, and the rest of the decals are there. But it's, you still got a lot of work ahead of you. The Hasegawa kit requires that you put the paint the white and the blue, but it does have the decal for the tail, so you don't have to paint the tail. So the issue there is going to be matching colors. I don't know why they didn't give it to the fuselage like Scale Master did, but they didn't. So there you go. The Caracal decals are the only ones I'm aware of for 1/48 scale. Your other 1/72 scale options are the Scale Master decals, which are the ones I used on my old one that I did over 20 years ago. And which, by the way, do all the blue for you. So you pretty much just paint the airplane white and the nose cone black, and everything else is there except the red stripes. Again, you still have to do your own red stripes, which is where I kind of messed mine up. But I really do think that they're probably the best option. And they are occasionally out on eBay, so they can still be acquired, but they're probably getting kind of old. That's probably run into there. That being said, though, there is one other option if you don't mind shelling out north of $200 if you don't really want to do the model yourself. Hobbymaster has a 1/72nd scale City of Jacksonville F-106, and I saw one on eBay. I think it was $229, and I really don't know if that's a good price or not, but that was interesting to see that they did it. The airplane's that popular, and kind of an iconic airplane, at least in the F-106 community or in the Air Force, I guess. I don't know. It was part of my world because I was around in 1976. I remember the Bicentennial, and living in Florida, I just sort of have an affinity for the airplane. Plus, I really love the Convair F-106. I just think it's like the most beautiful jet. And speaking of one-off jets, you guys may remember a while back I did that series of videos on when the Army was playing with jets, and we talked about the NA-156, later became the F-5 Freedom Fighter, that they tested with the special nose gear. Well, someone sent me a link to a video from Air Rail Images that's some very rare footage of this airplane actually doing some takeoffs and landings. And as we suspected, they never retract the gear. You'll notice after it takes off, when it lands, the gear stays down. Once that thing would have gone nose up and climbing, the gears would have come up right away normally, because I'm now 99% sure that they were not able to retract the gear because that dual nose wheel was simply didn't fit into the bay. It was a one-off to show them that they could do it. But it's still some really interesting footage, and you see a drag chute being used on a sod runway. And given how fast that airplane is and how small that wing is, it really is some impressive short field performance. Probably one of the reasons the Swiss operated them for so long. Well, okay, guys, that's what I have for right now. I hope you're having a wonderful 4th of July. If you're in America and you're celebrating the holidays, enjoy that barbecue. I am planning a live stream tonight, and we're hoping to have Brian from Sparky's Model Salvage. So you guys take care of yourselves. We'll talk to you later, and as always, model on.